What you're seeing isn't just an old DOS game. It's a window into a forgotten world. A world that is powered by a machine built from scavenged parts, meticulously stitched together with patience and purpose. This is the legendary 486 computer, and today we will build one for the ages. Amid dusty expansion slots and jumper switches, these beige boxes were crafted to endure and evolve. Once the silent power behind a changing world of computing, they are now mostly buried beneath decades of time and technological quantum leaps. Today, this 486 comes alive again. Beginning as a classic DX2-66, we will later supercharge this build with a DX4-100 and race it against its own legacy. From old EIZO cards to modern cards, 3.5 and 5.25 inch floppy drives, CD-ROMs, and a retrofitted compact flash drive, we will add them all and push this Titan to its limit, benchmarking its strength and summoning the ghosts of games that shaped generations, along with a few of my personal favorites. From flickering pixels to the dawn of 3D realms, it will conjure the thrills from a bygone era. This isn't just a retro build, it's a resurrection. So take this journey back with me through the shadows and dust, to the dawn of, well, everything important to me in the world of PC gaming. And yeah, so I really have 3 reasons for wanting to do this build. Number 1 is nostalgia. A 486 machine was the first computer we had in my family growing up, and I really wanted to relive a lot of those memories of playing those games from that era. Think 94, 95, making boot disks, trying to get games to run, setting up sound cards, all that fun stuff. I swear I spent more time trying to get games to work than actually playing with them. Number 2 is I wanted a dedicated Windows 3.1 machine. I have a couple machines with Windows 95, 98, and XP. So only natural that I go back one generation to Windows 3.1, and looking forward to playing a lot of games and applications under that operating system. Thirdly, I want to go back one era in the hardware generation. This era allows me to play around with VLB cards and different EIZO sound cards in a pure DOS environment. So I'm super excited to get started. Let's begin. So let's kick things off with the case. And before I get started, I have a confession to make. Well, 2 actually. This isn't the first 486 build I've done, and it's not the first 486 build video I've produced. I did a video about 2 years ago and ended up getting rid of that machine because Windows 3.1 was giving me a bunch of problems, kept crashing, and I couldn't figure it out. And around the same time, someone in the film business was interested in it. I guess they wanted to use it for a prop for a local movie or TV show they were producing. But the funny thing is about that machine is it's the exact same case. Well, not the exact case, but the same model as this case here. And I've always liked the look of it, the aesthetic. It's got a turbo button, the turbo display, and I'm just used to it, and it fits in well with the overall look of what I'm going for. For our motherboard, this is a Shuttle Hot 419. We have a coin cell battery. We have 3 VLB slots. There's a third one just below. You can't really see it. It's cut out by the camera. I have 4 sticks, each of 4 megs RAM for a total of 16 and 256K cache. Now, currently I have the DX4-100 CPU installed. When I first got this board, the motherboard was set up, or the jumpers were set up for a DX2-66. I had to change about 4 jumper settings to ensure that the DX4 would set up properly. The most important one being the voltage setting, since the DX4 takes 3.3 as opposed to 5 for the DX2. For my video card, I'm going to be using the Speedstar Pro VLB 1 meg. And if you've seen LGR's 486 wood grain video, it's the exact same card. It does have the GD5428 series logic, so it should be plenty fast for what I want to do. And again, I'm not looking to make the fastest build. If I want to run DOS games without any problem and have everything blazing fast, I'll just load up my Pentium MMX, right? But I also have this ATI EIZO card, which is a lot older from 1990. And this is what I'm going to be using for benchmarking. So I'm going to have the DX4-100, and we're going to benchmark this against this. And we're going to slow things down to DX2-66. Again, benchmarking this versus this. Because I always wondered, why do I want VLB? Is it really worth it? How much faster is it going to be over just having an EIZO card? Now for our sound card choice, I have the Orpheus 2 from 2022. So this is a modern EIZO card. and it can do Crystal FM, Yamaha OPL3, and you can switch between the two. MIDI out, wavetable header, and the most interesting thing about this card is that it can do Gravis ultrasound. It has an interwave chip. Now, when I was planning this build, I thought it'd be a slam dunk to use this card, even though I've used it in previous builds, and I actually did install it, and I had all the drivers set up and had it working. The only thing was I really wanted to get a shot of me playing Screamer 1, which you saw in the intro, and for some reason, the game rejects the joystick when I use this card, and that's the only game that happens with. I got the joystick working in Descent, Tyrion, and One Must Fall, but it really bothered me, so I plugged in this card, which is my AWE32, and it was working fine, and I kind of came to really enjoy having this card in the system. So this card can do the AWE synth, but it can't do Gravis ultrasound. So, you know, if I really want Gravis, I can just pull this out, take out all of the initialization codes from AutoExec, plug this guy back in, and just initialize it, and I'm good to go with Gravis. But for the most part, I'll be leaving this card inside. So later on in the video, I'll go through the 3 different sound options that are available in most games, or a lot of games, with this AWE32. So your typical Soundblaster, the AWE synth, and general MIDI out, which I have a Roland sound canvas for. Our power supply is actually from 1994. It's an original and it's still going. I am using an actual mechanical hard drive. This is a Seagate 545 megabyte capacity. Now, this case does have a turbo button and display. Currently it's set for 66. I was really debating when doing this video on, whether I was going to open this up and get in there and change the jumper settings on the display, and I might save that for another video. So the light's going to display 66, unless I hit the button, and then it'll go down to 16, which I'm not sure is entirely accurate, as it doesn't get quite that slow, but we'll see. Now for my other VLB card, this is my I/O controller, and it has a connection for a serial mouse. The only way I could get this one working, and you'll see here the connectors for hard disks and floppy disks, and that's fine. That can do 2 devices on 1 cable. With the hard disk connectors, one's a master, one's a slave. They both get a separate cable. Now the problem with this is I have 3 devices, because if you count my hard drive, my CD-ROM, and this compact flash. My solution to that was, well, just install another I/O controller, and this is an EIZO I/O controller. But no matter what I did, I could not get my BIOS to recognize the secondary controller. So I kind of have a solution. I'll show you that when I get to the case portion, or inside the case rather. So I have everything reattached, and everything seems to be working fine. I got the Diamond Speedstar video card at the bottom, the Soundblaster in the middle, and the VLB I/O card just above that. The Soundblaster is an EIZO card, by the way, but it can fit into the slot for VLB since it only uses the EIZO portion. And I didn't want to put it above the I/O card because the I/O card's got all these cables coming out of it. So it's a little bit of a mess, but keep in mind, I'm going to be pulling this all out to put in that DX2. Do I have to pull everything out to put in the new CPU? No, but considering I have to make like 5 jumper changes, it'll just be easier that way. The other thing I want to point out is that the CF card adapter is not attached. This is due to that issue of me only being able to get 2 hard drive devices detected. So my workaround is, if I want to use the CF card, I'll just temporarily remove the CD-ROM, put the CD-ROM cable into the CF card adapter, make the changes in the BIOS. I'm good to go. Okay, so I'm going to get things started here, and I'm just going to start out with some gameplay before I do some benchmarking in that. And I've got my, Soundblaster drivers all set up. I've got DOS 6.22 installed, and also Windows 3.1 already pre-installed. So let's start out with this game here. And this is Quarantine 2. And I promise not to show any Doom or Duke 3D gameplay in this video. It's kind of like, going into a Guitar Center and no Stairway to Heaven, no Smells Like Teen Spirit, no Enter Sandman. Yes. Whoop. It's a little loud. And yeah, this game seems to be running fine. This is like an open world 3D driver. And it came out in 1994, so it's pretty impressive for the time. Even though it's like buggy AF. All right, let's quickly go through some system information. And if I go to CPU performance, see this tool is showing me as a little bit below where I should be. But when I do some initial benchmarks and compare it against other scores I'm seeing on Vogons and other YouTubers, I actually am where I should be, so I'm not sure what's going on there. If I just go to processor details, and it is set to write through. To be honest, I have to do some more information, more research on write back versus write through, but I'm just going to leave it there for now before I start messing around with jumpers and BIOS settings. So when I do end up comparing this DX4-100 to the DX2-66, I'll go through 3D Bench, PC Player, Doom, and Quake. I'm not going to show everything. I'll show a graph when I'm finished it all, but this is where I'm at right now with 3D Bench. And I'm at 63.8, so it's pretty good, above 60. All right, so I just got my flat screen set up because I think it comes across better on camera, and I don't have to deal with like that moire effect. I'm just gonna get out of this, and so for my Soundblaster, I got the drivers off of Phil's Computer Lab, his website. I got the DOS drivers. This is a plug and play card, so it was super easy to set up. Everything was done automatically. It even sets up the AU32 for Windows 3.1 as well. So I'll just go through a diagnose. Whoops. It has this program too, which can help you troubleshoot or show you what your I/O, Midi port, IRQ, and DMA settings are at, and it also allows you to test. So everything's green, there's no conflicts. I can test the 8-bit sound.
8-bit testing. $60-bit testing.
You can kind of see the different music options I have. And if I just go out of here, I think this would be best demonstrated through Tyrion, because through Tyrion I can switch to the different options in real time. Sounds really bass heavy, my sound canvas here. It sounds good, it's just don't know why it's so bass heavy. Just a quick break to go through my peripherals and audio equipment. These speakers here are Roland MA9s, and I actually just picked these up. I was looking for the MA12Cs or the MA8s, which are super popular with a lot of retro PC enthusiasts. But I found these, and they had a really cool retro look, and I don't really see them on many YouTube videos or in anyone's, you know, Facebook pictures when they're showing off their machines. So I thought I'd pick them up. They look cool. They sound pretty good as well. Underneath that, I have my SE55 sound canvas, and it's currently playing the music to Hexen, which is playing on the screen right now. Just kind of cut out the sound effects there. Underneath that, we have another Roland sound device. It's a CS10, and it's currently not active. I'm just kind of using it to hold up my sound canvas. I did do a video on it earlier this year. Check it out if you want to see like my full review intro. I also did a video on this Gravis Gamepad Pro, which I use as my joystick, or my joypad rather, if I am playing fighting or driving games. And then for my joystick, I have a Logitech Wingman Extreme, and it's got the hat, which I like using in Descent or X-Wing TIE Fighter, that sort of thing. All right, let's get some gameplay footage here. I'm gonna run up Descent. This game is kind of speed sensitive. If you were to like run it with a Pentium 2, your ship like kind of bobs up and down. It's super annoying. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen when I'm playing here. But at the same time, I want it to be fast enough that I don't feel any kind of lag. It should be like just buttery smooth. Get some music in there. Oh yeah, it's running fairly smoothly. And it's not running like so fast that it breaks the game. Try to get like multiple enemies. Go into this area. Yeah, I'm super happy with that. Next up, you know, in terms of like pushing this system to its limit, I'm gonna try out Screamer. So this is a racing game, like a 3D racing game, and you can run it in like low res or SVGA mode. So that'd be like Start H for SVGA. That would be like pretty much a slideshow on this machine. You definitely want like a Pentium system for that, but let's see what low res is like. And I'm gonna play with my Gravis gamepad here. All right, and yeah, I got the French version. Some sound. All right, let's see how we do here.
Goop! Get what happened back? Go!
It looks a little rough when you're not playing in high res mode. Like really rough actually, but it actually plays fine. I don't notice any lag or slowdown at all. It's not the easiest car to control either. But the driving physics are kind of crap.
Hey, you're in the lead!
But I'm used to playing like Outrun 2, which has just amazing physics. It's not like that, unfortunately. Maybe I just don't know how to drift yet.
thing one tricky.
So yeah, this system can totally play Screamer 1 on low res mode.
What's wrong?
Alright, so Hexen here, and this was a game that back in the day, if you were to play on a DX2-66, it would have been perfectly fine. Not perfectly fine, but the experience would have been fine, even though it would have been a little bit slow. Playing it on this DX4-100, it is mostly buttery smooth. So I'd be fine playing it today in 2025 like this, for sure. So I think I've done all I could do with this DX4-100, except putting in that ATI card. So I'm going to put that in now and run some benchmarks. Then after that, I'll show some Windows 3.1 and some 3.1 applications like Microsoft Office Suite. And yeah, then we can wrap it up from there. Okay, I now have the ATI EIZO video card installed, and I'm happy to report that it's working with no issues. I've gone through my first round of testing, and these are the results of the benchmarks on screen now. So you can see that PC player, there wasn't much of a difference, but a huge difference in 3D benchmark scores and Doom Max. With Quake was like, yeah, your computer sucks either way. There's no big difference. So yeah, I mean, definitely a huge benchmarking increase by using that VLB card. And I started testing playing Hexen, and even with that ATI card, Hexen still feels fine, but the benchmarking scores, you know, tell all. And again, once I get the DX2 installed, I will display these results again, comparing with the new results from the DX2. Actually, one thing I wanted to test before I change out that CPU is I wanted to test out this 5¼ inch floppy drive, because it's been about 30 years since I've handled one of these guys. And this disk has been formatted. So if I just get in there, it's got to set it up as my B drive. I'll just edit a file here. Please subscribe to my channel if you've enjoyed the video. And I'm going to save that. Nice floppy noises. And that's done. So I'm going to exit. Just wait till that noise stops and safely take out my disk. And now no one can read my secret file unless they have a 5¼ floppy. Okay, now's the moment I've kind of been dreading, and that's getting this DX2 back into the system. Not because installing the CPU is hard, but as I mentioned before, there's several jumper settings we'll have to set up correctly to ensure everything runs safely and correctly. And when I go to edit this video, I'm going to go into the motherboard manual. I'll get some screenshots of the jumper settings so you can kind of follow along as I talk about what I'm talking about. So the first one is the system clock setting that I have to change. So even though the DX2-66 and the DX4-100 use the same system clock at 33, at least the versions I'm using, the DX4 has a special setting for whatever reason. Next, there's another jumper. So those are up there around underneath this blackboard. There's another jumper setting down here which controls the DX4 multiplier. I don't think that matters with the DX2, so I think I can just leave that. Finally, there's the voltage settings down here, which is like super important because I'll have to change from 3.3 to 5 for the DX2. And finally, I just want to look into that right through the jumper settings to make sure I have that set correctly. I don't even know if my CPU and motherboard supports it or if it's even worth it, but just something I'll look into. So I'm going to get this done, and when I come back with my next clip, hopefully I'll have everything installed correctly. All right, I got the DX2-66 installed, and I'm happy to report that everything worked on the first time. And it seems to be running right where it should be, according to the CPU performance chart. I did look into that write back cache option, and unfortunately, neither of my CPUs support that function, so I'm not able to take advantage of that. I've already gone ahead and done the benchmarking, and I'll display the results right here. So some interesting results. We are seeing the DX2 with the VLB video card actually beating the DX4 with the EIZO card in 3D Bench and Doom. Otherwise, the results are what you expect. What this stresses to me is the importance of having VLB versus EIZO in your 486 machine, regardless of what processor you're running. The second thing I learned from this experience is when I was first designing this build in my head, I immediately thought of the DX2-66 as a sweet spot for, being error correct and not too fast, not too slow. But after playing with the DX4, I think it's the better choice, obviously because it's faster, but it's still a 486 and will deliver a smoother experience in games like Doom or Descent. Okay, I'm now going to load up Windows 3.11 or Windows 3.11, whatever you want to call it. And I'll just go through some of my programs here. Sound seems to be messing up. It's fine now. Yeah, so if I want to set my resolution, right now I'm in 1024 by 768. I had 256 colors. If I go down in resolution, I get more color options, but I'll just leave it here for now. And of course I have, the classic games, Ski Free and Solitaire and Tetris and that sort of thing. But some of my favorite programs as a kid was this Midi soft application, and it allows you to open up Midi files and create your own and edit the instruments, and I had a lot of fun with this when I was a kid. I'll just open the studio here. So General Midi, and you can open up existing songs, and it comes preloaded with all of these, and this was always my favorite, no middle. And we can play it. You can mute instruments and swap out. It just all happens in real time, which is pretty cool. Get the slap bass. And you can create your own songs too from scratch if you want. The next program I wanted to show was Microsoft Excel. I just was curious to see how much had changed over the years. Something I use every day, like in my office job. And I've already gone ahead and I've created a file which has my 3D bench scores. And I just wanted to see what the graphing options were like back then. So there was this wizard that you could use, and then it never seems to pick up the range correctly. But there we go. And if I want to do a bar chart, and I think I'll try this one. And I think I want to swap this. And next, and there's my 90s looking chart for you. I just have to, I guess I don't want to show this in my video. I just manually add the individual values there, but pretty cool. And finally, I wanted to try this other game I had as a kid. It's called Undersea Adventure. So I'm going to try installing it. from scratch and see if it works. Go install. So this is like an edutainment type of, oh, that's not the game I want. Yeah. It's like your typical Windows 3.1 edutainment software. Go Express. Under C, 3 megs, that's good. The classic installation, Windows installation screen. All right, that wasn't so fast. Or that wasn't so bad, rather. Okay, let's hope this works. Hoping it's the same program I had as a kid, too. I mean, Undersea Adventure is a very generic name. Okay, whatever. Yep, it is.
Welcome to Undersea Adventure. Move the mouse and click on the controls to begin your undersea adventure. Learn more about anatomy in the Marine Animal Lab. Unlike many undersea hunters, the octopus relies almost entirely on its vision to find and catch prey. For this reason, the octopus's eye is highly developed and can probably see images nearly as well as a human eye can. Much of an octopus's brain is devoted to interpreting the many signals coming from the octopus's eyes. The octopus eyeball is flattened like a fisheye. To focus on an object, the lens of the eye moves rapidly back and forth. The eye of an octopus is also quite large, making it easy for the octopus to see well at night when it does most of its hunting.
This is awesome. Well, guys, I think that brings me to the end of this video. You know, one thing I was thinking about was I really didn't show a lot of me actually screwing in cards or fitting in RAM or attaching cables or anything like that. So if this video does well, maybe I'll do another video of me, you know, actually showing the process, physically snapping everything together, and we'll see how that goes. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Take care.